Every few years, hip-hop loses another success story. Not because the artist wasn't talented, not because the music stopped selling, and not because the fans disappeared, but because they couldn't leave behind the life they spent years trying to escape.
And this morning, we're learning more about the arrest of Grammy-winning rapper Lil Durk on murder-for-hire charges.
Charged with allegedly masterminding a cross-country murder-for-hire plot that can land him decades in prison.
This isn't just about Lil Durk. It's about a pattern that has repeated itself for decades.
You know, when you look a little historically back at him and some of the incidents that he's had just in the last 12 months, you have to make some assumptions that, you know, based on that, this is going to be a back and forth kind of thing. And that's the downside of this, is it doesn't stop.
Young men grow up in some of America's toughest neighborhoods, like Southside Chicago. To a lucky few, success in music becomes their ticket out. They make millions, buy homes, provide for their families, and become global superstars. Then, somehow, the streets keep calling them back. Sometimes it's loyalty, sometimes it's revenge, sometimes it's pride, sometimes it's the feeling that you still have something to prove. And more often than not, that story ends in prison, or worse.
Breaking news, a rap star on the rise killed during a violent home invasion.
Right now, the search is on for 3 people who police say shot at a Savannah rapper, killing a member of his entourage.
Rapper Takeoff was shot and killed.
Thousands of fans of Grammy-nominated rapper and community activist Nipsey Hussle are in a state of shock today. They are mourning the hip-hop star's ultimately and violent
Southside
death.
rapper was killed this morning after a gunman armed with a rifle opened fire on his car.
The rapper Young Dolph is gunned down and killed at a South Memphis cookie shop.
Stunned fans of XXXTentacion, a rising star here.
That conversation has become impossible to ignore because of Lil Durk. The Grammy-winning rapper is now fighting one of the most serious federal criminal cases of his career. He has pleaded not guilty, and the allegations have not been proven in court. It's worth mentioning that a lot of people feel and wish Durk could go free. But the justice system isn't fueled by wishes, and regardless of how the case ends, it raises a much bigger question. Why do so many rappers escape poverty, only to struggle to escape the street code?
Sadly, the same streets he loved so much is where he would take his last breath.
One of the biggest myths in hip-hop is that success automatically frees you. It doesn't. For many artists, success creates a new pressure. There's pressure from old friends, pressure from neighborhoods that expect loyalty, pressure from fans who question whether you've changed or will you still hold down your set when your homies need you. Some artists become trapped trying to prove they're still authentic, especially rappers whose music and lyrics talk about life on the streets. You know, a life of crime and law-breaking, even after they've already made it. The strange part is that the people asking for that proof are often a loud minority. Nothing but keyboard gangsters. Most fans buy concert tickets because they love the music, not because a rapper is willing to risk his freedom. Chief Keef is one example people often point to. After years of controversy in Chicago, he largely removed himself from the environment that made him famous. He kept making music, built a business, and stayed alive. And look how the so-called set now treats him like Benedict Arnold simply because he chose the mature path. Suddenly, all that work he'd previously put in for the hood is largely overlooked, and his own people are now discrediting him. Other artists have made similar choices, moving away, reducing public feuds, and focusing on longevity instead of reputation. But not everyone takes that path.
Once you get out the streets, you make your way out, you stay out.
Years before these federal charges, Wallo and Gilly the Kid sat beside Durk on their podcast and delivered advice that now feels haunting. Wallo spoke emotionally from experience. He talked about losing people he loved, specifically his brother.
I can name 20, 30 niggas and my homies is dead. I'm here though. I forgave my brother's killer. My brother died in my grandma's arms. In that fucking house that we grew up in. Nigga shot my brother, he ran to the house. He died in Nanny arms when she opened the door. If I ain't let that shit go, I won't be right here today. I won't be here.
He talked about how retaliation rarely brings peace.
And I'm talking about this my big brother, nigga. I shared the cell with him. I shared the bed with him when we was fucking kids. But I had to leave, I had to let that shit go.
That conversation has taken on new meaning because Gilly himself later lost his son to gun violence, making the warnings feel even more personal.
NBC 10 has confirmed that victim is son of longtime Philly rapper Gilly the Kid. Fans say he was a promising young rapper looking to follow in his father's footsteps.
If you look closely at Durk's expressions and body language during the conversation, you can tell that Wallo's heart-to-heart barely made a lasting impression on Durk. His mind was already made up. But whether Durk agreed with that advice or not, the outcome of his alleged actions reflected the larger truth. Every act of retaliation risks creating another cycle of violence.
But officials say Durk ordered and financed, allegedly in retaliation for a 2020 shooting in Atlanta that resulted in the death of his friend, fellow rapper King Von.
Federal prosecutors now allege that Durk became involved in a murder-for-hire conspiracy targeting rapper Quando Rondo. Quando survived, but his cousin, Lil Pab, was fatally struck.
Savannah rapper Quando Rondo, a passenger in that car, frantic at the sight.
Durk has pleaded not guilty to the charges, but the prosecution has pointed to evidence it says supports its theory of the case. Prosecutors have also argued that certain song lyrics and public statements provide context for their investigation. Now, that's the part that gets me. If you're an avid hip-hop listener and follower, you know damn well that most rappers commit crimes, then drop entire albums and mixtapes flexing these same crimes.
Brother D-Thing just got killed and I've been slow since. But we got back on their ass, I bet they know this. You can bleed whatever you want, I got your folks here.
The use of rap lyrics in criminal cases remains highly controversial. Supporters agree with it, but critics protest it. But I'll give you two scenarios where this debate can really become challenging. Example one is the song N-Words Bleed by the notorious B.I.G., where he paints through his lyrics a vivid picture of his involvement in an armed robbery gone bad that results into one or more deaths. But historically speaking, there was no actual evidence of this robbery ever taking place involving Biggie or Christopher Wallace as a suspect. Example 2, the song When I See You by Julio Fulio, where he trolls and mocks his dead ops whose photos appear clearly in the music video, dancing on their graves and vaguely admitting that he had something to do with their deaths. Can critics really say that Julio Fulio's song is only an exaggerated artistic expression? And can supporters say that Biggie's song is an admission of a crime? Ultimately, it will be up to the court, not public opinion, to determine what evidence is admissible and whether it proves the charges beyond a reasonable doubt. But let's get back to the video and what this cycle costs. People often focus on celebrity, but behind every federal case is a human cost. If convicted on the most serious charges, Durk could face decades in federal prison, potentially spending much of the rest of his life behind bars. That would mean lost time with family on top of the time he's already lost. A career interrupted at its peak, lost opportunities, and a legacy forever shaped by the outcome of the case. And even if he got out, this could still affect his career in the future. We've seen this with artists like Mystical who've never recovered from the past legal troubles. Whatever happens in court, it's a reminder that success doesn't automatically protect someone from the consequences of the choices they make or the people they surround themselves with. Durk's story, man, it's one of those stories that sound like a movie, how someone makes it out the hood and then ends up in the same situation he fought so hard to escape. I'm not judging Durk, but I'm hoping a lot of brothers can learn from this story. Maybe the hardest lesson hip-hop has had to learn is this: leaving the neighborhood isn't betrayal, but growth, and sometimes survival. There has long been a cultural expectation that staying connected to where you came from proves authenticity. But authenticity doesn't have to mean remaining tied to conflict. How is it that other genres offer a contrast? Many successful pop, country, and rock artists also write about difficult upbringings or personal struggles. Some have had beefs with other artists and people from their beginnings, yet their careers are generally less connected to ongoing neighborhood rivalries or expectations of street credibility. Why is this curse of pride bestowed deeply in the communities of young black rappers? Is it because showing growth is interpreted as weakness? Or is it because the law doesn't care much for black-on-black violence?
Being on the street in any American ghetto where the black-on-black crime is a bigger threat and a bigger problem in the black community, or coming across a gang member, or being caught in a crossfire like Dwayne Wade's niece was in the city of Chicago, pushing a baby stroller and she took shots to the head from two black longtime career criminals.
The other thing I don't understand is the no snitching movement. If you hate your ops so much, doesn't it make more sense to get them sent away every chance you get? I don't have to snitch on my brother, but what do I care for an op that killed my brother? Anyways, I'm not a gangster, and maybe that's why I can never understand the code. And Judging from the way I think, I wouldn't last a day in the streets. But I believe hip-hop can be as free from conflict as other genres that often reward longevity, touring, and reinvention more than public displays of toughness. But hey, I guess the labels earn a lot more from rapper deaths than rapper success stories. But those stories, they deserve attention as much as the tragedies do. It hurts so much to see a young black male with a lot of potential who had achieved everything, someone we watched grow from poverty, pain, and doubt to a life most people die dreaming about and then end up losing everything just because they were trying to get payback for somebody that's dead already, somebody that ain't coming back no matter what you do. They not in heaven looking down or smiling on you. They not bothered by what you do next. They're dead and you're alive. And that's whom you're risking everything for. But whatever the verdict, we wish Durk all the best, man. Everybody makes mistakes and everybody deserves a second chance. But it's not a second chance when you've had so many. If Durk gets to walk free, I just pray that he will wisely use this opportunity to outgrow those childish decisions, and that everybody else that's still trapped in that life can see the bigger picture. Wait, what the heck am I thinking, man? Y'all know they won't. Most of these kids are too far gone, but nonetheless, good luck to everyone. See you in the next video.